Hi, George here, and the future has arrived. Adobe just added Generative AI to Photoshop Elements 2026. This is the most exciting thing I've seen in Photoshop Elements in decades. And in my personal opinion, this is now the best version of Photoshop Elements. I haven't seen anything that I don't like about this new version. It's a great new version. Now, I'll be going through and showing the new features here in 2026, but I know everybody wants to see this Generative AI and see what this does, so I'll show that right here on this image. You'll find Generative AI up in the Edit menu, right down here, Generate Image and Insert Object, or in the toolbar over here, left side, there's Generate Image, and this one is Insert Object. Now, Insert Object is the most exciting part about this, and I'll demonstrate that here. Let's click on that, and down here in the Options panel, we have a selection brush, either add to or remove from your selection. There's a slider control right here for size. That's a pretty good size, that's 125. So the first thing you do is you come in and simply select what you want to have removed. I'll just select this dog right here. If you need to, you can make the brush size smaller using the left square bracket or larger using the right square bracket. Either one works good. And let's just kind of carefully, you don't have to be exact on this, just kind of carefully come in here and make your selection. Anything which doesn't really fit right, the AI will come in and fill that in, actually replace that. It's an amazing tool. Okay, let's just get around here. I'm getting all the edges first on this. There we go, up on the top. And then just fill in the area, make sure it's all solid. Just fill in this part of the dog up here. There we go. Now I want to do two things on this picture. I want to remove the dog and exchange that for something else. And I also want to remove this car here in the background. So let's go ahead, we'll mark out the car. So we're doing two things in the one pass on the AI. And let's just fill this in again as well, right in through here. As you can see, it's very easy. It's just standard paint here to get this taken care of. Okay, that's good. And then down here it says prompt. You type in what you want to see. Not what you want to have Photoshop Elements do, but what you want to see. So let's just put down here. I'll put down a fluffy raccoon and a hedge. That's all you have to do. Photoshop Elements with the Generative AI will figure out what has to go where and do it for us. Go ahead and click Generate. Now this is done online, so I have to have an online access for this to make sure that your internet is working. It's going to analyze the picture and give us 4 different choices on its final outcome. And once it's done, it will give us that. Now the speed of this is going to depend upon your internet connection, depend upon how busy things are, things like that. So here we go. There's our first one. The car is gone. It has some hedge over here. We have a raccoon. Here's our second choice. I don't know what that is. Got a big animal over there. There's our third choice. It's kind of a dry hedge. Here's our fourth choice. I like that hedge better. Now you can come in here and put a rating on these if you want to, and it may give you better options. But I think this does the job. A nice green hedge. I should have said green hedge, but the raccoon is good. So there we go. That fast to change that image. Let's see how this looks. There's our before, and here's our after. It does a really nice job on that. There we go. May have to go in and do some very careful tweaking. I see a slight change on her nose in here. It changes a little bit each time. That nose is better. Now you only get to keep just one of these. You can't keep all 4. So make your best choice on that. When you're happy with it, go ahead and keep that. I think I'll keep this one. I like the pose there better. And I can just colorize this more green with the standard Photoshop Elements tools. So that's the insert. So you can change backgrounds with this. You can add new things in the foreground. Again, an amazing tool. Once I click to a different tool, that's going to set that one in place. Now, the only downside with the Generative AI is that you don't have that many choices in here. You can't do it that many times because Photoshop Elements comes with 25 credits a month. So each month, the counter resets to 25. Let's go back here to the Generative AI and click on this button right here. This will tell you how many credits you have. Now I have more credits in here because I have the Adobe Creative Suite programs, and I get more credits over there. But if you're in Photoshop Elements, you'll get 25, and then your current balance will be over here, left-hand side. You can always buy more, and that's a subscription. And if you like this tool and you use it a lot and it's valuable to you, it's not that bad. It's $10 a month, which is about commonplace for most AI nowadays. And you get 2,000 credits for that. So it's a lot of credits. If you only use it occasionally, then 25 is going to be more than enough. Okay, so that was how to use the insert. And that's what we would normally be doing in here. You also can create brand new imagery. Just go over here to the left side. This is Generate Image. Same idea. You have 2 options down here. You can do a photo or art. They have an auto setting, but I like choosing either the photo or the art on that, and then type in what you want to see. Let's just do something easy here. I'll just type a squirrel in a tree eating a nut, just like that, and generate, and let's see what this gives us. And again, the generation can take a little bit of time, so just be aware of that. I'll just cut out the wait time in here, the pause time, but it's no more than about 15, 20 seconds, so it's pretty fast. Actually, that was it. All done. Okay, there we go. A squirrel eating a nut. It's one of those long-eared squirrels. I've seen those before. Here's another version right there. There's a different version, and there's this one. And I think I like that one right there. And this is a totally new image. It's not taken from stock photography anyplace. This is a brand new, completely original image. So that's your difference down here. The generate image is going to be making you a new image, and the insert object is going to be putting objects into an existing image after you make a selection. Phenomenal tool, and this really brings in some massive power. I've been using the generative AI over on Photoshop ever since it came in for a lot of stuff. I found it very, very useful. But that's not all that we have in here on new features. There are a lot of new features that are really interesting. Let me bring up another one in here, and I'll bring up a standard picture that I use a lot in training, and it's this one for photo retouch. There's a new photo retouch tool. Go up here to enhance, come down to restore photo right here. And it comes in a window that's kind of like a guided edit window. And when you first open this up, you'll have to download a module for this. It just takes a few seconds for the download. And right now it's doing the same thing. It's going through, it's analyzing the picture. It's looking for those scratches and imperfections. And it's then going to remove those or smooth those out. And there we go, it's done. We have some options up here for adjusting. I haven't found a lot of use for those, as in most of the guided edits. I usually stick with the first option we get. But here's our before and here's our after. Just phenomenal. Now, the only mistake it made is that it took out some of the buttons up here, but that's okay. We can fix that later on. If I wanted to redo or fix this picture, a lot of the hard work is done, and I'm left with just a few things. This big break up here, a little bit of work in the face, a few things up in here, and that's all I would have to do. So I'd say this takes out probably 90% of the work on retouching this photograph. Now, when you're happy with that, just hit the OK button, and it comes in as its own layer up here. So here's the original, here's a new layer, which means I can easily come in and bring those buttons back. Let me show you how easy that is. Let's just zoom in on the button area down here. I'll put a layer mask on that layer, and then I'll grab a paintbrush, set our foreground color to black, and I'm just going to paint black on that layer mask, and it's going to hide this top layer and show the bottom layer, and there we go. The buttons are back in again. So very easy, as you can see, to use this tool, and does a great job at getting you most of the way there with photo retouching. Let me show you another new tool in here, or actually an enhanced tool. Let's just get rid of these things. I'll bring up another photograph. I've done this picture a few times on my channel, and it's how to remove the people in the background. And it's quite a few steps and a lot of clone stamp work and some content-aware fill to get that done. Let's go over here to the healing brush tool section. And down here, looking at the remove tool. And over here, here's this new section right here, find people in the background. Just click on that. And then Elements analyzes the picture, finds the people, and selects them all. Now, it made a mess over here. It got a foreground person, but we can fix that. We'll go over here to the Subtract button, and I'll bring my brush size up a little bit with the right square bracket key. And let's just come in here and carefully take him back out of that selection. There we go. I've tried this a few times, and for whatever reason, it always grabs that one person. I don't really know why. Sometimes AI is odd that way. Okay, so he's now out of our selection. Then all you have to do is hit the Done button, and it's going to remove everybody in the background. Give it just a moment to do this. And there we go, that easy. So there goes that video that I have as a standard one. That's now gone because it's just so easy to do this here with this new Find People in the Background tool. Finds them and takes them out in just seconds. Another interesting change is up here under the Create button. Now before, if you click on Create, you'd have a menu in here with a few options for some creations. And some people like these a lot. If you click on this now, we get this new pop-up dialog box. Your standard menu is up here. Greeting card, photo book, photo collage, photo prints, photo reel, and slideshow. That's all here. They're still the same thing. But now we also have these Adobe Express templates right down below. If you haven't heard about Adobe Express, it's a new online site that Adobe has that basically works like Canva. So if you've ever used Canva, then you have an idea how this is going to be behaving. So we have birthday invitations, seasonal templates, social posts, social videos, scrapbook, and print. I'll go back here to birthday. Let's just choose one of these pictures right here. I'll choose this happy birthday card. This is then going to take us onto the Adobe Express site. Let's continue as a guest on this one. And we can then come in and modify this template or choose a different template using all the options over here, left-hand side. Templates, media, text, elements, charts and grids. Here's your generative AI again. Like I said before, it works very much like Canva if you've ever used Canva. Same idea. But since this is not part of Photoshop Elements, it's a different program, the Adobe Express program. That's all we're going to talk about that one. Something else that's new in here, very interesting. I'm just going to grab the type tool over here, and let's just put some type at the top. I'll just type in beach up here. When I do that, notice down here we have this little pop-up thing happening right down here. It says cancel or done. This is another new tool. This is a big change in the interface. Actually, the only real change in the interface is this. And this is replacing that little green check mark or X that used to be bottom right-hand corner of anything you do. The green check mark is done, and the X would be the cancel. Same idea. But this goes a little bit further, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Let's just choose done on this, and here's our text place. Let me just double-click on this. Let's bring our size down a lot. There we go. I'll put that at the top here. Now what I want to show you is the font list. So here we go. Let's go over to the font list. I'll bring this up. If I scroll down a little bit here, we now have some colored fonts in here. Sample with the gradient, sample in red. There are a few of these, are not a whole lot yet, but there are a few. Here's one right here, very fancy looking typeface. Here's one right there. Let's come down a bit further. It's kind of a 3D thing. And there are a few more. Here's 4 right here. She's done on that. And there we go, some real fancy type. So we now have the ability to use type that has color in it. Much more advanced kind of font is now available, and we're getting access to that here inside of Photoshop Elements. And of course, you can get more of these from Adobe. Let's close this picture down and open up something else. Here we go. And let's take a look at that context menu up here under Window. And that's the Contextual Task Bar. Here we go. Now, before it had cancel and done. If you haven't done anything, then you may get some additional options right down here, like select subject or remove background. Things that may be common to do on any picture. So you'll have some additional options in here. Now you can move this thing around, place it anywhere you want to. You also can lock that into position, pin the bar position, or you can reset the bar position to its default setting, which is right there. If we go up here, I'll right-click on the background. Let's duplicate this layer, choose OK, and then I'll grab the control handles up here. Let's resize this. Notice how that bar goes away as you're actually doing something and comes back when you're done. Once I've done this, I then have some standard options for this kind of a picture. I can rotate left, rotate right, flip horizontal, and flip vertical. Again, common things that you may want to do, plus your cancel and done buttons right over there. And I think this is a real nice advance on just the done or cancel buttons that we had previously with the green check mark and the red X. So again, vastly improved. So real nice new feature. And there are a few more small tweaks in here, such as being able to roll over the blend modes and test them just by rolling over your blend modes. There's new support now for the WebP file format, the WEBP file format. A lot of websites now use that format as their main image format, so it's nice that we can now import those and bring those into Photoshop Elements and edit those in Photoshop Elements. So we now have the WEBP image file support. And over in the organizer, you can now easily import from cloud services. So a few little tweaks like that. But the big ones in here, the important ones, are the generative AI right over here. I think this is great. And the restore photo, very useful. The new find and remove background people, also very useful tool. The fonts, we'll see how those go. It depends upon how many fonts are available for that, but it may take a little while, but there will be a lot of those colored fonts. That's going to be real nice. And overall, I think this is a great new version. I'm really happy with Photoshop Elements 2026. Now, if you've been thinking about upgrading, you've been kind of holding back a little bit, I think now is a good time to go ahead and make that upgrade. And of course, I'm supporting this with a new training title for this, a new training course. And that'll be very useful for anybody who's brand new to Photoshop Elements. It covers the whole program, all your tools on the left-hand side, all your menus, all your panels, how to use everything. And the training course is good for versions 2024 through the new version 2026. If you have version 2024 or 2025 of my training, just watch my YouTube video. You'll get enough of the new stuff there. But if you're new to Photoshop Elements or you have an older version, then I highly recommend getting my new training course for this. It'll teach you all of these new tools that have come in the past 2 or 3 versions. Also, if you have my Photoshop Elements Photo Coach, I will be adding in step-by-step instructions on how to use all of these new features here in Photoshop Elements 2026. So that's going to be included there for anybody who already owns that program. And if you don't have that yet, it's another great learning tool. The way I look at my courses, I think that you should learn the course first, do the video course first, and then to continue your education and have a good reference tool, that's where the Photo Coach comes in. Okay, if you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing a lot more videos here about 2026 over this next week and covering in more detail all these new tools. You don't want to miss any of those videos. Make sure you check out the links at the top of my description for my video course and also for the Photo Coach. And I'll see you next time.